Hi, schools, COVID testing, and elections are today's topics. Some of you may not know that I was an elementary school teacher for 17 years before I moved into full-time local government. I understand the importance of in-person learning, and I know people are eager to get our students back to classes. So am I. But I've also been watching the data every day and consulting with our public health experts. That is why I supported the decision of our public health officer, Dr. Travis Gales, to issue a health directive that private schools in our county could not open for in-person learning until at least October 1st. Our public school system had already decided not to reopen during the first semester. That directive provoked a lawsuit, outcry from some parents and others, and criticism from the governor. In the end, because of multiple actions by the state, Dr. Gales rescinded his order, but his concerns about the safety of schools remain. The level of community transmission in Montgomery County is still too high to safely start in-person classes. When European countries restarted in-person classes, their daily infection rate was averaging 2 new cases per 100,000 residents. Our current daily infection rates in Montgomery County are running almost 5 times as high. When Governor Hogan made the decision to stop in-person learning in the spring, we were identifying only 4 new cases a day for the entire county. And now we are running more than 70 cases per day on average. There are also other metrics that our public health experts look at to determine what can safely reopen. And I want to emphasize there is no one metric, no one magic number that will let us know that it is safe to resume activities. Many different issues and metrics must be considered. And as we learn more about the virus, we know that children are effective transmitters of the virus. So while they may not get as sick as others, if they transmit the virus to older people, we already know the severity of the illness can be greater. I know some non-public schools believe they can keep students within the well-known guidelines that include proper social distancing, wearing face coverings, and constantly washing hands. Given the level of virus in our community, these measures are not sufficient to stop the spread. I want nothing more than in-person classing to start again, but I also want every child, every teacher, and every staff member to remain safe and healthy. The attempt by Dr. Gales to keep private and independent school students and staff safe was the right one. Science, data, and concern for public health dictated his decision. But since the state has moved to open private schools, we need guidelines. And despite requests to the state beginning 2 weeks ago, we still don't have guidelines for reopening schools. We will use those guidelines when we get them to help schools in their planning for the fall. And we hope that all will proceed with the utmost caution and not a rush to return to in-person classes. In testing news, the state's public health department has paused the processing of tests by the county's primary testing partner. So we've had to suspend testing in multiple county-sponsored sites. We are already exploring alternatives and will be getting additional tests from the state as part of an interim solution while we work to get our program back on track. Our website has a link to other test sites around the county, including some of them are county sites, and this does not impact any of those sites. Finally, I'd like to talk about the upcoming elections. The way we vote this fall will be quite different from what we're all used to. First, I'd urge everyone to vote by mail. You can request an application online, and you will be receiving an application to request a ballot. Please, please, if you are able, request a mail-in ballot rather than the internet link. The internet link is important for those overseas and for certain special populations, but ballots received via internet link must be hand-counted, and hand-counting is time-consuming and particularly difficult during this pandemic. It is important to vote, and it's easier to vote via mail, but please request the, quote, in the mail ballot choice, not the through email ballot choice that you will be getting. Every registered voter should be receiving an application for mail-in ballot by the end of the month. Also, please know there will be drop boxes for your in-the-mail ballot placed in locations throughout Montgomery County when it is time to return the ballots. I will share more information with you in the coming weeks about the election process, but for now, the most important information to know is to request an in-the-mail ballot on your application. Again, thank you for your understanding, your patience, your support. Please stay healthy, keep following the guidelines because it is your following the guidelines that has enabled us to get as far down the path of controlling the virus that we've been able to get so far. You have made a difference. Please keep up your work.